Chantecaille today, Chantecaille Wild Mustang collection. So I have all four of the eye shades and both lip veils. We'll talk about that. Let me talk a little bit about the collection, and I've got a video of me putting on each eyeshadow shade and lipstick, lip veil, so you can see what they look like independent of one another. All right, let's kick things off. So this is the Wild Mustang collection. If you're not familiar with Chantecaille, Chantecaille does these philanthropic collections where some of the proceeds of the makeup, skincare collection, whatever it is, go to these campaigns. So this season is reconnecting us to the American Wild Horse campaign to support their efforts to protect the wild Mustangs of the American West. Because of that, all of the products have a Wild Mustang theme. So the boxes for the eyeshadows look like this. This is Pinto. That's what the box looks like. This is Rowan. This is Palomino. And then the last one is Ray. Make sure that's what that says. No, Bay. Sorry, my eyes are going. Which actually I'll talk about. The shades have the corresponding figure on it. And I will talk about in a minute, like each shade, but let's go through the overall collection first. So that's the Wild Mustang campaign that they're giving to. And like I said, there are 4 shades in the eyeshadows, and then there are 2 lip veils. The funds raised from the collection will support the Utah Conservation Program for the protection of recently discovered isolated herd of wild horses in Utah's Cedar Mountains. The program aims to protect habitat and enhance water availability for the horses, keeping them humanely in balance with their environment. I did live out west for quite some time and went to law school out there in Denver. Well, yeah, in Denver. There weren't any wild Mustangs where I was, but I do know that, that is certainly something that you can see if you're out in the Utah, Colorado area. So I picked up, like I said, all of the collection. Now, 2 of the shades, let me put them up for you, the Pinto and the Rowan. Here's the Pinto, here's the Rowan, and I'll show you the shades in a minute. These are luminescent. They are like the luminescent eye shades that Chantecaille has done for quite some time. And I have, not all of them, but almost all of them. And actually, I'm going to have swatches up of some of the ones that I'm going to compare these to because I think they're very similar. Then they came out with something new, which is matte shades. And we have Palomino, and we have Bay. All right, so let's start with the shades on the eye, and I'll have video going up of me putting on that shade. So the first one is Pinto. And when we look at Pinto, I see a silvery mauve shade. It actually is not brown. It has like a coolness to it, almost like a pinkness to it, which I did not expect. When I was first looking at these shades, I thought they would all be brown or tan in nature, and actually this, as I just said, is a silvery mauve shade. Then Rowan is a shimmering cinnamon shade, and I would say that the Rowan, although cinnamon, I guess, is a decent way to explain it, I actually think it's lighter than that. If you see me put it on the eye, I think it's lighter than cinnamon. I don't think it's quite as deep as cinnamon, but these are both luminescent in nature. Now we have the Palomino. Now Palomino is the matte shade, and you can see when you look at it, it doesn't really show up on my skin. It looks very much like my skin, but lighter. It has more of like I would almost call it like a light tan kind of shade. And then the last one, Bay is a deep brown. It looks like almost like a chestnut shade. And I could see that being something that you would use, as an enhancer of your look or a liner. And in fact, if you look at the look that I have on today, I have on all 4 shades. I have the Palomino, which is this one here, and I'll hold it up again. This is the Palomino. This is up in the brow area. Then I have what they're calling the cinnamon, the Rowan, on the lid itself. Then I have the Pinto on the outer corner and into the eye. And then I have the deep shade, the matte sort of chestnutty brown shade, Bay, a little in the crease, and I've lined my eyes with that shade. They work together really well as a quad. I'm kind of surprised actually that Chantecaille did these in single shades instead of like, you know, a quad like they've done. I have a numerous amount of Chantecaille quads. I'm just gonna pull out the giraffe for a second. This was something that came up, was this spring? Oh, my brain is gone. But anyway, you know, this is a very similar looking quad, in my opinion, in the sense that there are 2 matte shades in here and 2 luminescent shades. Now, obviously, this one has this white shifting shade, and this is a very special metallic looking shade. So the colors aren't the same, but the idea is the same. It's a neutral 2 matte, 2 luminescent group of shades. So, I'm not exactly sure why they did them in the singles, but maybe it was because it was the philanthropic and they wanted to, you know, you could buy them separately. Not sure. I will say all together, I think they make for a beautiful, neutral look. I think they're stunning. On their own, I would say that the luminescent shades absolutely can be used by themselves as an all-over shade. They're both beautiful, pale mauve. You know, it's a gorgeous shade. That's the Pinto, and then the Rowan, which is that supposedly cinnamon, are both great, like one and dones. The matte shades are actually very smooth, and I think they work really well. But as an all-over matte look, I wouldn't use either one of them because they're just not my they're not my thing. And what I mean by that is that the Palomino is too close to my skin color, and it would just be. They would look like there was nothing on my eye, which again, I guess if I just wanted to smooth out my lid, not have any, you know, imperfections or like have any veins show, that would be something I could do. And the Bay is just a deep brown, and I wouldn't put that all over the eye because it's just too, like, that'd be too much of a look for me. Now, if you're somebody who likes a deep shade all over the eye, then absolutely, you could use that. The formulas are all good. The matte shades are very nice. They're very smooth. There was no patchiness. They go on really great. Luminescent eye shades, I've said before, I like them. I think they're extremely good. So none of these things are bad, but these are $56 a piece. So if you were going to buy them all together and have them as a quad, you know, you're talking $224, which is a lot for a quad. So that's my thing. Independently though, I do really like them. And if I had to pick one, honestly, I would say I would pick up the Pinto, which is this like silvery mauve. If you go back in the video and look at me putting that on the eye just by itself, I think it's very pretty. I think it's a really nice shade. I think it's a really good, it's deep enough and pigmented enough that it'll work on a whole bunch of different people, different skin tones. It's a great one undone for those folks who are looking for a simple look. And then I would say the mattes in here are great if you're somebody who wants just an all-over matte shade. They are good formula. Like, they are really good formula. They are smooth, they are pigmented, and there's a lot in here. Each one of these is 0.08 ounces, 2.5 grams. So it's a lot of shade. So if you're somebody who's looking for like a, you know, a light tan, really good, creamy matte that you want to use with everything else that you use, this is a really good choice. But I would just say the price, you know, I think it's gonna push a lot of people out from this collection if you're looking for it as a all together, all 4 of them, using them together like a look that I did. I do want to show you, I have a video that'll go up now. It's a short little video just showing the different shades. And if you go towards my elbow, you start, that's Pinto, then Rowan, then Palomino, then Bay. And then we have Golden Copper Lion. Then we have Burnished Brown Giraffe, Wild Bronze Leopard, and Warm Champagne Cheetah. Because I wanted you to see the other shades in there that the Chantecaille had done, single shades. And I think you can see that especially the first 2, the Pinto and the Rowan, They are a little different than the others. They're not as sparkly. They don't have any like pieces in them. They're smoother. They are luminescent. The two mattes are very creamy and smooth, and they go on really well. But if you notice, the bay is very similar to the leopard and the cheetah in the shade. Not exact, but it's similar. And then the first shade, the Pinto, that one is very unusual compared to the others because like it's this mauve shade. It's not really a brown, it's a mauve. And so that does set it apart. I would say, I'm pulling it out now, there are some similarities, you know, a little bit to the Pangolin. The Pangolin came out, I don't remember when anything comes out anymore, guys. I'll explain what's going on with my brain in a moment. It's called a Dusty Lilac. Definitely not the same. I'm gonna show you on my hand, and I'll show you them next to each other. But there's a similarity in tone here that if you really liked the Pangolin, I think you'll really like the Pinto. So here's the Pangolin, Dusty Lilac, and here's the Pinto. And here on my hand, Pangolin, Pinto. Can you see, like this, the Pangolin definitely has more purple to it and more luminescence, but the Pinto is a similar undertone, a little lighter, not as deep, not as purple, more mauve-y, where the other one's more lilac. But I think there's definitely a similarity there that I wanted to point out because when I first looked at these, I just assumed they were all browns, all neutrals, and the Pinto really isn't. It's got that, you know, that mauve color. Next we have the lip shades, and the one that I have on my lips right now is the Laurel, and I do think it's a very pretty shade. I think it's a little light, and I don't think it is at all brown or neutral. So what's interesting, and I'll have video go up with me putting the Laurel on, and the other one, which is, I think it's Wild Begonia, but let me just make sure I have the right shade. Yep, Wild Begonia. And I'll have video go up in a minute with me putting them on my lips. But there's Wild Begonia and there's Laurel. And I think you can see they're both pinkish shades. The Laurel has more of that peach, but they're definitely not brown. And if you see the Laurel on my lips, I put the video up now, you can see it's like a neutral. It kind of has like a little bit of a peachy tone to it, but it definitely is not brown. It has like more of that pink. And then the Wild Begonia is definitely pink. Now, I have it on now with a Chantecaille liner. Like I said, my whole face is Chantecaille. And this is in Tone. And Tone does have more of that brownish shade to it. So when you put it over that, I think you get more of a brown look. But I do want to mention there's a couple of shades that I think in some ways would have fit better with this collection that I already own. So this is Lip Veil in Tambati, which you can see is more of that brown shade. This is one of my favorite ones. I've used up a lot of it actually. Tamarind, this was part of the Elephant collection, which I think would be a good choice for it. Yes, it's got a little bit of pink in it, but still it's more of that brown. And Prairie Smoke. Again, it's got some pink, but I still think these three shades are browner and more neutral than the two shades that went with the Wild Palominos. Now, don't get me wrong, the Wild Mustang. Wild Mustang didn't say that it was only browns. It didn't say that it was only tans. It's just that looking at the shades and the colors that they used for the Palomino and the Bay in the pictures, to me, that indicates more of that brown, tan. I don't know, I was just thinking more like total neutral brown, neutral beige, that kind of thing. And for the most part, it is, except for the Pinto, which is that mauve, you know, a silvery mauve. So all in all, do I like the collection? Yeah, I think it created a really nice look. It's very neutral. I really like the Pinto. That's my favorite. I think it's a really great one and done shade. I think all four of them together make a beautiful look. But for $224, that's a lot of money for a quad. I think the mattes are really good. I think they're good quality. And if you're looking for like a single matte in a, you know, a deep brown or a nice tan beige. It's something you can use with everything kind of thing. You know, if you're looking for that type of matte, single matte, yeah, I think those are good choices. But again, my issue is I don't think the packaging is like spectacular. I don't think it's super special. I love the fact that they're giving back to a worthy campaign, but you know, I'm really hoping for something like sort of over the top with packaging, or you know, something really impressive when it comes to like a new formula. I think the mattes are a nice touch. I'm glad I have them, but we've seen mattes in their other, like in their quads, and they're extremely good. So, you know, I'm not, given everything that's come out lately with Yves Saint Laurent and the new Clé de Pose and the Prada, and even frankly the Chanel Byzance collection, which impressed me more than I thought it would. This is nice and a continuation of what Chantecaille has done, but you know, the thing that actually I was most excited about was the bag. So this you got during the Chantecaille Sylvie sale, and I did post about it. It is Chantecaille's 25th anniversary, and I love this bag. It's a really nice, hefty, it's the material, what, I don't think it says what it's made out of. Let's see if it says on the little 25 year. It says Chantecaille was founded 25 years ago by Sylvie and Olivia Chantecaille, beauty pioneers. A naturally beautiful look that becomes our signature, blah, 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 blah. But I don't think it says anything about, yeah, I don't think it says anything about what the bag is made out of. But I will say, like, the bag is a really strong, hefty tote that has this gorgeous canvas and all the beautiful design on it, you know, with the different animals and the philanthropic, you know, work that they've done. And I love the bag, absolutely love the bag. And then in that sale, in the Chantecaille sale, I did pick up the bamboo and hibiscus exfoliating cream. I picked up 2 of those because I absolutely love that product. And I also picked up something new I've never tried before. It's a retinol body treatment. I'll let you know how, what I think about it. I can't use retinols on my face because of the rosacea and the sensitivity of my skin on my face. But my body, I don't think I'm gonna have that problem. Don't get me wrong, I'm still, you know, have sensitive skin, but I think it should work. I've also picked up a new body cream, which has, by the way, no fragrance in it. It was sent to me, and I absolutely love it. I think it's for all you people out there who want something that's really moisturizing, great for dry skin, especially good as we're heading into the fall and winter here in New England, but has absolutely no fragrance and not irritating in any way. I am gonna have something on it over on Instagram soon. I like to use these things for like at least a couple months before I say like go out and buy it, but I do think it's excellent. So I'll have something about that, but I am gonna try this as well and see what I think. So overall, you know, again, I think it's a lovely collection. I think if you're somebody who is looking for these types of products, these are good options. I especially like the Pinto. The lip veils, I love the lip veil formula. I think it's very comfortable. It's more pigment than the Lip Chics. You know, the Laurel shade I think is really nice. Wild Begonia is a little too pink for me, but you know, that's a personal taste thing. I think the collection is good. I love the fact that they're giving back to a worthy cause, but I just think it's not particularly special. And, you know, I hate to say that because I love Chantecaille, but I think, in my opinion, unless you're specifically looking for the things that I said, like an all-over one and done shade, the Pinto, I'm telling you guys, that's a really good one. Or you're looking for like, you know, mattes that you can use for other things. I think there's other places to spend your money on neutrals. That's all I'm saying. So I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'd love to hear if you pick them up. Again, I'm not saying anything bad. They're all good. A continuation of what Chantecaille has done in the past. So thanks so much for joining me today, guys. I really do appreciate it. And I hope to see you in another video really soon. Bye.